As commercial flocks in Indiana continue to be devastated with bird flu, industry workers wrestle with financial troubles and mental health. Clayton Baumgarth reports on the resources available to those farmers who collectively have had to put down millions of birds.
Since 2022, Indiana has lost nearly 7 million commercial and hobby chickens, egg-laying hens, ducks, and turkeys. The spread of highly pathogenic avian influenza shows no signs of slowing down, as outbreaks have been reported nearly every week since the start of the year. Roseacre Farms in Jackson County, which lost over 2.5 million egg layers in late January, recently testified to the Senate Agriculture Committee about the situation.
Since 2015, we have lost 10 million birds to avian influenza, 6 million of those since January 1 of this year. That's 25% of our current production.
During his testimony, Wesner emphasized the need to develop and deploy a vaccine as soon as possible.
I'm not sure vaccine is 100% the answer, but I think that if we go down that road and we start there, there'll be people work hard and spend a lot of money to try to come up with answers.
He also spoke on how the industry needs continued financial assistance to weather the storm.
There's been $1.4 billion worth of indemnity paid out since 22. I would ask that we continue to look at that with common sense and fairness. It's a way to have a stopgap measure to keep people in business.
Indemnity payments aren't the only tool keeping farms afloat as they rebuild their flocks. There are insurance programs available through the Farm Service Agency.
Insurance payments work like what you would expect insurance. Now, it doesn't follow underneath like the standard crop insurance, but there are livestock insurance programs and indemnity programs implemented by FSA.
Malone says that even with these programs in place, money is tight. Rebuilding a flock can take up to 6 months after an outbreak. That's 6 months of financial uncertainty and personal stress for flock owners.
This could be extremely dire. I think that there are always cases where we experience some type of negative shock, and the biological lags that are required to rebuild a flock and start producing eggs again can be pretty disastrous.
And that 6-month rebuilding process assumes that no other infections occur. If one does, the process starts all over again. Not only are farmers worried about their balance sheet, but there's also an emotional stress happening simultaneously.
These people love what they do. They work really hard to give those hens a good life. Those layers are something that's quite valuable to them. So the idea of eliminating them is setting the money aside. It can be pretty emotionally damaging to have to go through these experiences.
That's where Purdue's Farm Stress Team comes in. It focuses on helping ag industry workers better manage their mental health.
I went to FFA convention this year to talk with youth about the importance of taking care of your mental health and the unique stressors that come with agriculture and the lives that they are living.
A large part of their work includes teaching people how to handle working in an industry where so much is out of their control, such as whether it rains.
There's so many aspects in agriculture that are ultimately out of our control. So like if there is a disease going around, what prevention can you do to ultimately help your livestock or your operation?
The team is made up of those with health and human science backgrounds, as well as those with extensive knowledge of the business of agriculture. For Robinson, who operates on the border of Ohio, where many bird flu outbreaks have been reported, work has been busy.
There's just so many mixed emotions that they could be going through. So some of the tools that we recommend is definitely how to cope with grief during this time, because it is similar to like a family farm if they lose the operation.
The biggest thing the team emphasizes, though, is that farmers are more than just their farming operation. It's an important reminder for an industry that often says farming is a way of life. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.